Hey, it's Ethan here, and welcome to this video series on how to draw the human figure. Now, if you're a beginning artist who's watching this video, I'm betting that you're probably struggling with a few things in figure drawing. You're probably having a very hard time keeping your figures in proportion, creating dynamic poses, and making your figures look realistic. Now, if any of those describes you, then you're in the right place. In this video series, we're going to address all those issues and show you a unique approach to learning figure drawing that will help you overcome many of those challenges. After getting a ton of questions from subscribers and seeing so many people struggle in this area, I decided to set out to find the root of the problem and, more importantly, what we can do about it. So I interviewed over a dozen figure drawing experts and professional artists and asked them what is the #1 secret to mastering figure drawing. Now, each had their own styles and take on the questions, but there seemed to be a recurring pattern among all their answers. They all seemed to agree that the biggest mistake that a beginning figure drawing artist make is to tackle the subject without properly learning the fundamentals. In other words, they rush to draw the figure without first developing certain key skills that are critical to success. And it's this unstructured approach that leads to many of the problems beginners experience. To illustrate this better, let me tell you the story of my co-instructor, Michael. Now, Michael is a very accomplished professional artist and teacher now, but when he was first starting out, Michael was just an average person like you and me. He knew he wanted to master figure drawing and to do it in the fastest time possible. So eager to get started, he decided to skip learning some of the fundamental skills like proportion, perspective, gestures, and anatomy, and just dive into drawing right away. He chose reference photos from magazines and comic books and just drew as much as he could. He ran into problems here and there, but simply pushed through them with more practice. And sure enough, soon he started seeing his drawing skills improve. Now, Michael was feeling pretty good about himself. But then one day, he decided to draw a figure from real life and from his own imagination. And that's when something very strange happened. He suddenly found that all his well-honed skills seemed to disappear. His drawings were a complete disaster. The proportions were way off. The figures looked stiff and lifeless, and there was absolutely no dimension to it. It just looked flat and cartoonish. It was as if all his hours of practice didn't even matter. Frustrated, Michael tried again and again and again. But after many failed attempts, he finally realized the truth. That all the key fundamentals that he had skipped over, the ones that he thought was unimportant, had finally come back to bite him. It was like trying to build a house without first setting up the proper foundation, and so everything just went crumbling down. What he needed was to go back and build a solid foundation. So he had to start all over again and develop all the skills that he'd missed, except this time it was even harder than if he was a complete beginner because he had to unlearn all the bad habits that he picked up. It took him a lot of work, but in the end it all paid off. Now his drawing skills are better than ever. Here's a figure painting that Michael recently did. So the lesson you can draw from Michael's story is that you can't just wing it. To master figure drawing, you have to take a structured approach to learning it. And there are certain key skills that you need to learn in order to become successful. Skills like understanding proportion, perspective, and basic human anatomy. By skipping over the basics, Michael ended up hurting himself in the long run and making his journey much longer and harder than it has to be. But if you start out by learning figure drawing the right way, you'll find that it's much easier than you think, and you'll see much faster results. So, that's exactly what we're going to do in this video series. We're going to walk you through what these key fundamental skills are and show you the right approach to learning figure drawing. By the end of the series, you'll have a good understanding of the basics of figure drawing and hopefully draw your first realistic figure. So, I hope that gave you a good overview of what we're going to cover. In tomorrow's video, we'll be diving into some actual drawing. I'll show you a super simple but very effective way to understand human proportion. And I'll also go through a cool drawing exercise that will help you embed that knowledge into your memory. If you struggle with keeping your figures in proportion, then you're really going to love the next video. Now, if you're already signed up to my newsletter, you can expect the next lesson in your email inbox tomorrow. But if you haven't signed up yet, be sure to do that now so you don't miss out on future lessons. It's completely free and it only takes 30 seconds. Just go to mydrawingtutorials.com/figure, or if you don't feel like typing, just click on the link right below this video and then enter your email into the new page. So that's it for the first installment in this series. If you like this video, please help me out and hit the like button and leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. And also, please share it with your friends on Facebook, Twitters, and Google+ by using the social sharing buttons on this page. So, until tomorrow, this is Ethan from mydrawingtutorials.com, and thank you so much for watching.